I had a coffee and then a tea. So we'll see how this goes. Good morning.
Sheesh.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome back to, we're on episode 5 now already of this. Like I am just loving being here. Tuesday is quickly becoming my favorite day. I love hanging out with you, Teresa. I love hanging out with everybody who tunes in. I love the positive feedback we have been receiving. It makes us so happy to know that the conversations we are having are being absorbed and benefiting people's lives. I know, Teresa, you have also had a couple people message you. I've had a few people message me saying, I've been implementing the things you guys have been talking about, and I'm so glad that our paths crossed because it's improving my life in this way and that way. And it's just like, this is the reason why we're doing this. So first and foremost, if you guys are hanging out with us live or on the replay, please let us know because we would love to express our gratitude, send you love across the ethers of the universe to thank you for hanging out with us. We understand life is busy. People have obligations. You're probably at work. There's things going on. But for you to take the time, when time is your only non-renewable resource, for you to carve time out and spend an hour with us every week, it just like lights us up. So thank you so much. And again, I'm gonna repeat myself I'm gonna try to remember to repeat myself every time. If you guys have questions, if you have specific scenarios and things that you're curious about, you're wondering about, maybe you want us to clarify something, please let us know because we are more than happy to cover whatever topics are of interest to you. And today we're talking about, and I'm so excited about this, we're talking about persisting and because one of the things that if you haven't already experienced this, I don't want to put this out there really, but it's kind of hard to avoid, at least in my belief system right now, that there will come a point where you start doing the work and it seems like things are not working. And for me, and I know Teresa too, we've had multiple experiences where shit starts to hit the fan and it actually gets worse before it gets better. And that is when you need to double down. So we're talking about that today because either you are dealing with this right now, you have dealt with this in the past and weren't sure how to get through it, or you're about to, and you're going to be happy that you were, you're going to be happy that you were here.
Yeah.
So, man, Teresa, talk to me about it.
So I felt that was the perfect thing to talk about because a lot of times people will look at us and figure just because we're so much farther on the path than them that we don't have challenges ourselves,
My God, no.
And just even this past week, I'm not going to say I was going to give up because I'm not going to fucking give up, but I was just like, why isn't this working here? Why isn't this working here? What's going on?
Yeah.
And then I realized that one of the teachers, she kept saying to me, persist, 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 persist. But that's all she would say. Keep persisting. But what does that mean? What does keep persisting mean? My brain is like, okay, well, I'm being positive, self-concept is there, but what does persist mean? Then I started digging a little bit further and it was like, persist, persist, persist in your affirmations, persist in your thoughts, right? Because the moment that we're trying to manifest something or bring something into our life, when we see like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this every day, all day long, but nothing's happening. Yeah. You want to give up because you're like, what the fuck?
What's the point?
Especially if you see other people receiving their manifestations before you, right?
Yeah.
So it just like clicked in my head. Oh my gosh, persisting. Okay. No matter what, you're continuing with your affirmations.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever it is that you want to bring in or whatever main thing that you're focusing on. So for me, I don't really want to say what it was, but I can say I wanted to give up last week because I'm like, fuck it. That's too hard. I don't think I can have this manifestation. And I'm like, wait, no, I am the fucking operant power. This is where persisting comes in. Don't fucking stop, no matter what you're seeing in front of me. Because if you would have been in my shoes and seeing through my eyes, it looked like it's not even possible. Every roadblock that I could possibly hit, being hit again and again and again. What I did different this past week than prior times, times I just be like, fuck it. Let everything in front of me that I'm seeing in the 3D affect me persisting. I would stop the thoughts. I would hold on to what's happening in front of me. And last week I was like, no, you know better. persisting in your thoughts is what they are meaning.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't clicking every time she said persist, persist, persist. So I kept repeating on repeat. Nope, nope, not accepting it. Nope, not accepting it, not accepting it. Repeating my affirmations over and over. And let me tell you, I've never felt it how I felt it last week, where I didn't believe them. I didn't fucking believe them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I was saying it and I was almost angry, like, ugh, why am I still doing this? Why are you wasting your time? Wasting my time? It's not my thoughts, right? They were starting to take over. It wasn't wasting my time. If you fucking want something, right? Just like when we're a kid, we don't stop. We don't quit. You know, you think about riding your bike. How many times take these fucking training wheels off, mom and dad. I'm a big girl now. I'm gonna get this down. I fell, busted my knees open. I mean, you name it, but we never stopped ever. So last week I was like, and this is, everybody needs to know this. You may feel angry. You may start looking at other people, but you can't hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? You don't know their full story behind whatever it is that they're bringing in compared to yours. You know, you may have a lot more belief systems that you have to break through where they didn't, but you can't ever compare, because they're, no matter what, even if we don't see it moving in the 3D, there is always movement. Always. So when we stop persisting and we change our thought forms and we're like, fuck this, we give up, I don't need this, blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden that thing that you were manifesting comes in, but guess what? It leaves just as fast as it came in. Just like your thoughts didn't persist, it reflects in whatever you're manifesting. It could be hot and cold behavior in people. You know what I mean? So anyways, I kept persisting. Angry, irritated, right? Literally, I was just like, ugh. I blah, 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 blah. I blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, I couldn't help it. I could not drop that feeling. But all I kept hearing in my head was persist, persist, persist. And it showed up this morning.
Amazing.
Fucking showed up this morning. I wanted to throw my phone. I was like, what?
Yeah. But you've also been persisting, affirming that you shared with us a couple weeks ago. No matter my vibe, no matter my mood, my manifestations are coming in at lightning speed, you know, in the unseen.
Yes, exactly.
So
exactly that.
Yeah.
What I realized too is, even working with some clients this past week, and I love you guys, okay? Because you're going to know who I'm talking about. They're going to know when they watch this that I'm talking about them. It's all love. But I've said many times, what is your desired outcome? Why are you doing this work? What do you want to get out of this? And there's a couple of that they just don't. They don't write it down. They don't sit there. They don't take the 10 minutes to figure that out. So it's like when it comes to these harder times, tougher times, when you must persist, if you don't know what your desired outcome is, there's no drive, because what goal is going to keep you in persisting mode? If you don't have this roadmap, is what I call it, to your dreams, your desires, your goal, the better life, your why. What is your fucking why? Why are you doing this? If you don't have a why you're doing this work, that's the first thing you need to do right now. You need to sit down. Why do I want better?
And what does that mean?
Pay for coaching. Why am I even searching for stuff on YouTube? What is it? What is it? And like for myself and you know, we've gone through this whole why thing, and it has to be something bigger than yourself. It can't be that, oh, just because I want better. No, it has to be something fucking huge that has a lot of meaning behind it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do this for yourself, you know, don't get that twisted. But obviously, just for you hasn't done a fucking thing up to this point. Just for me, whatever. because it's going to get tough on this road. You're going to have challenges. This why has to be bigger than yourself. Why? Because I don't want my children to continue in these same patterns, these same cycles, these generational curses, because I don't want them to go through all of the fucking pain and trauma that I've experienced my whole fucking life.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing this shit. So I could provide a better life for myself, so I could create generational wealth. This is the motherfucking why that we're talking about here, that you need, because there's going to be many times where you're going to want to throw in the fucking towel. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this anymore. Even though you know it's for you, it's for yourself to be better, to do better. It gets that tough. I mean, we could start putting affirmations out there, right? Now that you have this awareness, saying how easy it is from this point forward. But no matter what, because we are in this human form, we are in this 3D reality, there's human things that we have to experience and go through.
Right.
So if you don't have something to refer back to why you're fucking doing this, you're going to give up. But then guess what? 6 months from now, a year from now, 5, 10, some of us waste fucking 20 years of our lives in shit that we should not be in. Okay? Because there's no why, because there's no roadmap. Your brain has to see this, you know. I don't care what anybody says. You got to write it down on paper. It's something magical happens when you write that down on paper and your brain sees this, right? It's no more scatterbrain with all these thoughts. Well, I have this want and that want, and all these fucking things are fighting each other. No, it's clear. You know where the fuck you're going. You stay focused. You stay fighting. Because ultimately, I mean, you could do what the fuck you want. You could give up. Go ahead. You'll be back. I promise you'll be back here again. You'll be watching these replays 15, 20 years from now, searching for the same fucking thing, right? Because it doesn't matter. And this is what I realized too. I was thinking, like, you know, the women that have all the money, they have the millions, they have this, that. Some people are very good at manifesting money. That's just their shit. They have no resistance. But nothing else in their fucking life is working out. Nothing. Nothing. So many realizations in the last couple of weeks, just working with different people, has really just fucking opened my eyes to so much. Like, it doesn't matter. Your soul has to be fulfilled. You know what I mean? No fucking settling. When we give up, we settle right where we are because it's comfortable. Who wants to be uncomfortable? None of us do. It doesn't feel good, but that's the only way that we're challenged to be better, to do better, to search, to even search for the answers for these things, you know? One of the people that I was working with, you know, was kind of beats herself up for things that she's gone through or things that she's done. And we shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, there shouldn't be no shame in anything. Everything was part of the process to get you where you are here today. Just because of some choice that you made or some, you know, obstacle that you faced and what you had to go through to survive. You know, most of us who do fucked up things, hurting ourselves, hurting others, we're only trying to survive. We don't know what we don't know. You know, you can't continuously beat yourself up for these things. If they did not happen, right? If you didn't experience this shame and this disgust with who you were and the choices you made and how you hurt this person or that, you would not fucking be here today. If you did not get broken down, right, to the bottom of the bottom, you're not even searching for these fucking answers. You're not searching for how the universe works. You're not searching how you could come into your power. You don't even know what that means. You're just literally, you know,
floating around
in the wind. Day to day. It's like,
no, 1,000,000%. And
right when I stopped and looked at the time, it was 1444.
Oh my God, I love it.
Confirmation.
I love it. I love it. No, honestly, I mean, Teresa and I have been talking about these kinds of things for literally years, which is how this podcast show even came to be. But so I have had several days of epiphanies as well. And from like Thursday to Sunday, literally days out of my scripting that I scripted 5 months ago, when I still thought it was going to be months and months and months, possibly years until we got back to Canada. Like, I'm talking from the point that I decided I was clear. I want to go back to Canada because this is not a knock on Nicaragua. I loved it for the most part, but there was a lot of aspects of it that were not what fulfilled me in all ways. Okay. So it took me some time to get clear on what was going to fulfill me in all of the ways, because it's not just money. It's not just having clients. It's not just having a business. It's not just living in this beautiful, it's none of that. You need to be whole and complete, and everything needs to fulfill you. So I started getting very clear on that, because clarity, like Teresa said, everybody who follows me too will know that I preach clarity is number one. Intention is number one. If you don't have that, you're wasting your time, because you're going to feel like manifesting isn't working for you when you haven't even placed your fucking order. This is like getting mad at Amazon because they didn't deliver your package when you didn't actually press order. It's like, what do you mean? You're calling customer service bitching, where the hell is my thing? And you're like, well, I don't even have an order from you. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's exactly the same thing. And then people knock on manifestation, and people like us saying, no, that's bullshit. It doesn't work. I was like, well, why don't you try it the way that I'm suggesting you try it, instead of telling me that it doesn't work when you're not doing it right? Right? Like, I'm not saying there's no cut and dry way to do it.
On the place your order part, it's funny because I don't know if you guys do you have Burger King over there?
Yeah.
Okay, so their motto is have it your way. Right. So I always joke around like, bitch, this ain't Burger King. You can't place your order here and get what the fuck you want. But guess what? The universe, manifestation, reality creation, it's Burger King, bitch. It's Burger King.
That's exactly.
Order, you get whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Again, sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's so good. I love that. I'm going to use that. No, but okay. So I first got very clear on what it is that I wanted. Okay. And then I got clear on my why. So the way I approach this now, this is a very specific manifestation, but I think the story is going to help everybody like absorb what we're talking about here. Okay. So I not only got clear on that I wanted to be back in Canada, that I wanted, certain things, but then I started focusing on why I wanted those things. So what I started doing, and I've kind of dubbed it the peripheral benefits of the manifestation coming to fruition, for 2 reasons. One, because once you ask, it already starts to unfold. So you don't need to keep repeating yourself. That's a waste of time, because the universe already heard you, right? This is like having a toddler nag at you. Like, at first, it's like, okay, yeah, like, you're patient. And then after a while, it's okay, like, I fucking heard you. Like, stop. I will get to you in a minute, right? So you don't need to keep repeating yourself. But so in an attempt to embody the version of me who already knew that was unfolding, like, I'm trying to, in my mind, what I'm trying to do is fast forward to the point where, okay, it's set in stone. We're doing it. Like, our tickets are booked. We're going home. And things like that included, like, okay, I need to start organizing these things and getting them ready to sell, because if we are going to be packing up and moving soon, like, this is all going to need to be done anyway. But on the other hand, too, I wanted to get really, really clear in my mind, like, no ifs, ands, or buts. These are the benefits of moving back, right? So I was thinking about things like making dinner for all of my son's grandparents, and like arts and crafts things that you just can't do in Nicaragua, because they don't have like Michael's and Hobby Lobby and all this stuff, right? They don't, I mean, even the dollar stores are like, and even if I did have the craft stuff, like, I don't know where to store it. Anyway, so I actually use Pinterest a lot for this. And I was making boards and how I would want my living room to look, and these flower arrangements I want to try, and like this recipe I want to make in my crock pot, and like things like this that I would have to be back where I wanted to be for these things to come to fruition. And I just spent like all of my free time like on Pinterest and thinking about this stuff and getting really clear on the peripheral benefits. Also being things like, my relationship with my husband could improve, because we could actually cuddle, because it's way too hot to even like, you just like touch your skin to somebody else and you just start sweating constantly. So it's like, okay, well, I want to, like, I miss having like connection with my husband, and, our son was in our king size bed with us. So I wanted him back in his own room, and, just like all of these peripheral benefits. Right. So anyway, I got very, very clear on what I wanted and why I wanted it. And then I started scripting Teresa and I've talked about scripting before. Basically, you want to write how you want it to happen ahead of time, right? So I started scripting details about my day and just not necessarily like specifics to the point. Some of the time I did. Some of them I literally wrote it like point by point by point the whole day, and it was like 20 pages long. Swear to God. Sometimes it was just more generic, like about how that week had gone or something, and how I, focusing on how I wanted to feel and all of that. And like I said, when I started doing this is when I had decided I wanted to come home, but I haven't really I didn't start pressing the go button on anybody, because I was like, I need this to unfold like harmoniously. So I was totally prepared for it to take a long ass time, but I was like, I'm super clear on what I want and why I want it, and I'm scripting it into existence. Okay. So fast forward, this past 3, 4, 5 days, we're literally out of my scripting 5 months ago. And not only that, it's funny because the manifestations that came to be over this weekend, and like one by one, like over and over and over again. But also this past Thursday, maybe it was Wednesday, I think it was Thursday, I am in the middle. I'm going to record a new subliminal hypnosis for myself, because the one that I have is working so well that I want to get even more specific and more clear and more everything. So I'm going to record another one for myself. So I thought, okay, well, let me just start writing out what I want to, like the beliefs that I want to have in my mind. Like I want to brainwash myself with these beliefs. So I made this list, which ended up being 16 pages. I didn't mean for it to be, but it ended up being 16 pages of affirmations. Just varying things, like all over the map, nothing like not themed or anything. Like some have to do with money, my business, our podcast show here, clients' results, things with my husband, just all kinds of stuff, right? And one of the things that I was affirming is that, okay, so it's very hot in Nicaragua, so we didn't do a lot of physical activity because it's just like too hot. So I am not really in any kind of shape. My flexibility is down. My cardio is down. My muscle mass is like gone. I actually lost probably too much weight while we were gone because it's just too hot. Anyway, so my husband and my son are very active, and they want to go out. They want to go hiking. They want to go biking. They want to go this. And it's just like, even when I'm in shape, have a hard time keeping up, right? So one of the things that I'm affirming, and I want to brainwash myself to believe, is that my stamina is good. My cardio is good. I can keep up with them. We have a great time every time we go. Like we love being out in nature, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So this is one of the things that I write on Thursday, and we end up going on a bike ride on Friday. My husband manifested us amazing bikes when we got back, because of course we sold everything when we left. Found me this awesome bike with this awesome suspension. I don't really know how bikes work, but it's awesome. I love it. Anyway, so we go to the dike, and we're biking. And I fall a little bit behind, and I kind of get into this like meditative state. I'm thinking about how grateful I am, and just like all of this stuff. And I'm kind of listening to all the sounds. And anyway, and then I get caught up with them, and my husband's like, oh my God, that was tough. Like I'm about to have a heart attack. And my son's like, it's so bumpy, this and that. And I'm like, I don't even know what you guys are talking about. I feel great. I'm not sweating. I feel like this is, and I just kind of stepped back, and I was like, wait a minute. I literally just wrote this like yesterday in these affirmations. And the funny thing is, when I was writing them down, now let me backpedal a second. Bike riding and hiking and stuff was something that I had scripted too, because it is something we really enjoyed doing when we were in Canada, like originally, right? So that was those wheels were already in motion, but the specifically like didn't break a sweat, but still felt like I was getting a good like workout, but I wasn't like, anyway, I enjoyed the whole thing. And I forgot what I was saying.
Well, I can point out a couple of things.
Go ahead.
Right away. First of all, what's one of the fastest ways, right, to put you in that state, that frequency of your desires? Gratitude.
Right.
That's like the number one thing. Right. So you combining gratitude with following your joy, there's no resistance there.
Yes.
Right? We can affirm all fucking day long. We don't have to work. We don't have to do, be in this high vibration. It's not a requirement per se in order to manifest.
Right.
But why would you want to do it from a state where you're not feeling good?
Exactly.
Right? Because look at, right, you're back now. I see you posting on Instagram and stuff that you're enjoying. Day to day, you're doing stuff that you fucking
Yes.
enjoy. You're all happy. I mean, look at,
I just
it's
about
proof
cried.
how
I just
fast
about cried. You're
your
right.
manifestations come
Yeah.
in when you're following your joy. Literally, are you fucking kidding me? That's all we have to do this whole time. That's all we had to do was follow our joy from moment to moment all day long. And then the magic happens by itself. The magic.
Yeah. Gratitude.
That
You're
book is
right.
all about gratitude.
You're right.
Think about the times that we did it. Literally, we were on a high, on cloud 9, in that state of gratitude. Having gratitude, following your joy, and not fucking giving up. Not giving up.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what. But I mean, I can't even right now.
And this, and okay, and this is something else I need to add because it makes the story even better. Because I'm starting to script this like 5 months ago, right? I'm scripting this. Things were not going badly, but they weren't amazing either. Okay. Like it was just like everything was just kind of like happening, right? And then shit got rough for me for a while. Like my clients know there was like multiple weeks in a row, like 2-3 weeks like it kept getting worse before it got better. And I'm talking like I'm not going to get into it, but it was like not good. And I remember I showed up to a couple of calls and I almost had to cancel them. I'm like, I cannot cancel these calls. I'm just going to be open and honest. I got on the call with I'm talking to my high level clients who know me like very personally, and I know them very personally. And I said, look, I'm here, but I'm not all here. So just know, like, if I seem a little like spacey, it's because I've got a lot of things going on kind of behind the scenes here. And I'm committed to showing up for you. And I want to give you guys what you need, but I need you to understand that like, I'm not really in a good place right now. And I'm literally just doing the best that I can. And the whole time I had to keep, and Teresa and I kept talking about this too, but I kept saying to myself, like, this has to be part of it. This has to be part of the breakdown before the breakthrough. This has to be part of what they talk about when they say like a slingshot, you're going to get pulled back. And then when you get released, you go like exponentially the other direction. I was like, it has to, because otherwise, first of all, I don't think I can do it. I'm going to go jump off a bridge somewhere. Swear to God, I actually did think there was one point where I was just like, this would all just be easier if I just stopped being here.
It's funny.
No, I know.
I'm laughing because
you get it.
This is real shit that you go through on this journey. Like
seriously.
I've been there 1 million times.
Well, exactly. And you get, like I'm sure people are looking at me going, what do you mean? Like you've been doing this for so long, all this work, whatever. I literally had the thought more than once that I was like, if I just stopped being here, that would solve all of my problems. And I'm not depressed. I would never like it just, these are what happens, right? Like when you're going through this and then I was like, no, this has to be for the greater good of what I'm manifesting. Like it has to. And I was like, first of all, this is what I believe. So, and this is what I've been reading and what I've been studying. This is what I teach. I was like, if I'm wrong here, and this is not part of the like grand scheme of the story, this is not part of my breakdown before my breakthrough, this is not part of the great story I get to tell later. Like, what am I doing with myself then? Like everything I teach is a complete lie if this is not part of the break. And I kept reminding myself, like, no, this has to be part of it. It has to. And I remember even looking at my husband, and we were not in a good place. And I looked at him and I was like, and like I'm visualizing him standing where he was when we were in Nicaragua. And I was like, it has to be part of it. And he just kind of looked at me and I was like, nothing else makes sense. It has to. Right. It has to. And if I had given up instead of reminding myself and reaching out to friends like Teresa who gets it and who I can be totally honest with and say, like, look, this is what's happening. I need fucking help. You know what I mean? Like, I need you to help me. Yep. And no, not you. Like, I wasn't putting it on her. I just was like, and this is where I ended up going.
No, but that's literally what it is. I mean, a few days ago, I reach out to you a lot, and then I have another person that I reach out to, and I told her, I was like, I don't think this is for me. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I said, this is not for me. I don't think that I'm the one that the world needs. I don't think that I'm good enough. And she's like, what the fuck are you fucking talking about right now? You're kidding me, right? I was like, no, like, these are my thoughts right now.
Yeah.
Like your higher self, it's almost like you're watching yourself like an outer body experience when it's happening, right? Yeah. Because there was that part of you that's like, I know this is not true. I know I'm not depressed. I hear from people every fucking day how amazing I am and how I make a difference in their life. I see it with my own fucking eyes. How am I here? What is going on? But
still, it happens.
It has to do, again, with our subconscious belief systems, right? For myself, I was in an abusive relationship for 10 years, almost 10 years.
Yeah.
The whole time I was beat to shit mentally. I was told how I was a piece of shit. I was compared to other women constantly. I'm never going to be that woman out there is what I was told. That woman's better than you. And that one's better than you. You'll never be as much of a woman as she fucking is. And da, 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 da. So there's a lot of subconscious belief systems in there that I'm still working through. I'm still processing, so it is good to have that person or people that you can reach out to that are on this same path that tell you, or people that you've even worked with. Sometimes you have to be honest with the ones that you're working with.
Yeah.
You're working with them. They see you. They know you're fucking making a difference in their lives. So there are some that I have reached out to. Hey, do I really make this much of a difference in your life? Like, can you tell me for a minute there? And that's okay. Yeah. That's okay for us to need this reassurance sometimes, because then eventually we'll get to a point where you don't fucking need it anymore.
Right.
And this is all self-concept. You know what I mean? And then there's that syndrome that kicks in that could take you backwards. Imposter syndrome is a real fucking thing.
It's the worst.
It is the worst fucking thing ever. Yeah. So on the road to where you're going, there is a lot of moving pieces to this puzzle, which that's why I felt like it was, it was what we're talking about today is great. Yeah. Because everybody's going to experience these things. We can act like we're fucking perfect and we don't, but what good are we doing for anybody who we're coaching, teaching, or that's going to watch this?
Right.
No, guys, this shit happens. You do get insecure sometimes. You do get in your head sometimes. Imposter syndrome does fucking kick in. You've got to keep persisting with the fucking tools. With the tools. You have to have people that are at your level or above you. And this is not saying that anybody who is, not as far in the journey as you is less than what you are. No, but their thought process is going to be part of victim mode still. And it's going to allow your behavior, and it's a coddling thing. Like, we don't need to be coddled. We don't. I'm sorry. No. Real and raw. And that's how I'm always going to give it to you.
Yeah.
It's tough love. I need it myself. Please be tough on me. And you have. You straight like, motherfucker. But I hate her right now, but she's right. Thank you. Bye. I'll talk to you in a week.
Yeah. But you did the same for me, right? When I was like deep in my shit there, you were like, but look though, she said to me, she's like, but look what you just said. And then I would read without her even have to say what she was going to say. I could just read back what I just wrote. And I was like, oh, I see what she's like, look at what you're saying. Like, look at what you're affirming. Look at what you are continuing to believe in. And I was just like, oh, fuck, you're right.
Just, yeah. And it's just the awareness. So sometimes just by speaking to somebody, because I do it a lot too. I'm like, oh, fuck, I just answered. I just got my own answer right now as I'm talking to you. Never mind. Just kidding. But even with somebody that I was working with this week, as I'm speaking, she's like, well, I just can't. What the fuck did you just say? Bitch, I'm about to go through this FaceTime and grab you by your neck. What did you just say? I don't ever want to hear you say I can't ever again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Don't say that word,
But she didn't even realize that she's sitting there and repeating that over and over and over. And I said, you know what? Hold on a second. What makes you say I can't? Well, my mom, my grandma, Okay. Now here we go back to 3D reality. Programming. What we've been shown our whole lives. Yes, there's fucking plenty of evidence that mom did this, grandma did it, great grandma did it. For you to take on that belief as true in yourself and continue the patterns, but this is what we're doing is we're breaking them.
Right.
We can only do that by having the awareness. So I told her, I said, that's fine. It's up to you. You could hold on to that for fucking the end of time if you'd like, because it is truth for what you saw growing up. But things are only true if you accept them as true.
Right.
So do you want to stay in this pain? Do you want to have this autoimmune disease for your whole fucking life? It's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's self-inflicted. Once we have this awareness and we see where it came from, now we can change it. Fuck that. I don't care if my mom did it, my grandma did it. Great. It's not my truth. I'm not accepting that as truth. I'm not going to go out that way from this world. You got me fucked up.
Yeah. No.
My body is healthy, whole, and healed. You know what I'm saying? And even with that, whatever it is, your health, your skin, we can age backwards. You know what I'm saying? Me, with my waist is snatched and my ass is fat. My boobs are fuller. Whatever it is.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Right? When you're looking in the mirror at first, that's not what you're seeing. Right? It's not matching what you're saying.
Right.
But if you keep persisting, it fucking shows up.
Mm-hmm.
It shows up. You know, I have people all the time like, what's going on with your boobs? Well, let me tell you. And if you want to change anything on yourself, this is all you got to do. If you want to change anything, this is all you got to do.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not, I do some squats, but not that much booty work for as much booty that's back there right now.
Well, look, like I told you, I am not in any kind of shape at all. And I was able to keep up with these guys on this bike ride. Like, and I just couldn't even believe it. I was like, what is going on? And I was like, oh, wait.
That brings me to the story that I was telling you about. Did I tell you yesterday about tracing the name on the arm?
Yeah.
Oh, guys, this is, okay, so I'm reading this book and in there is talking, it's the power of the subconscious mind. And I thought that this was like, whoa, it blew my mind to read that a healer or a hypnotist had a patient or client come in and he's trying to see how powerful is suggestion to the subconscious mind. How far can we take this, So he had the person in the meditative state, hypnotic state, and he traced their name with the pencil on their arm and said, at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, you're going to ooze blood from where I traced your name with the pencil. 4 a.m. the next fucking morning, he started oozing blood, and it took him 3 months to heal. It literally was like if somebody cut the name open.
Yeah.
Let that sink in for a second. Yeah. So why is it so important that we stay conscious of what we are speaking? Everything is getting impressed. I can't this, I can't that. Your subconscious says, okay, well, give her more of what she can't. Give her proof. Its job is to give you proof of what you're saying and what you're believing. That's its only fucking job. It doesn't question what you're telling it. It doesn't question what you're asking for. Yeah. Its job is just to deliver it. Yeah. But that's fucking crazy. Like, that blew my mind. I just thought, like, oh my God. In the Reiki sessions, you're literally like in a meditative state. You're in a hypnotic state. Right. I'm going to play with it. I'm going to see what happens.
Yeah. Well,
I'm going to start auto-suggesting things when people are in that state and see where it goes.
It is so powerful. And that's why I'm loving these subliminals. Because like I had a woman I ran into, she's a mom friend from school. And she's like, I don't know what you're putting in. Like, she's like, obviously I can't hear what you're saying. But because of course people give me what they want to work on. And then I create the audio like that. And she's like, I don't know what you're saying, but like nothing really is different. Like in my life, but I am approaching things totally different. I'm more calm. I haven't screamed at my kid in like 4 days. And normally I'm screaming at him by 8 a.m. and all this. And I'm just like, it works. But it's funny because when you're saying about being careful what you say and how you speak things out loud, I used to think I was super positive. Like before I started all of this work, I thought I was super positive. I thought I was only ever focusing on this because I used to always say like, well, but the silver lining is da 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 da, right? And so that's good. It's a good start. But 98% of the other things I was saying were affirming victim mentality and things like that, right? So it's funny. So fast forward to, I've been doing this, 5, 6, how many years now? 7? I don't even know. It's been a long time now. Anyway, yesterday in the kitchen,
7 years.
I was, God, oh my God. I was saying something to Derek, my husband. I was saying something to him about, it doesn't matter. I don't even know what we were talking about, but I started to say something and then I was like, no, cancel, clear, delete. And then I started to say something else. And then I was like, no, cancel, clear, delete. And he's standing there like, oh, get to the point already. I was like, no, I gotta be careful how you say it.
You should be proud of me. Hold on.
Yeah, he's like, oh my God, this. And I'm like, no, seriously. So funny. Oh man. But you have to be careful. You have to be careful. And everything that you say out loud you're placing an order. That's like you hitting the button on Amazon. I don't want this thing to show up on my doorstep. So guess what? Not
here's
saying
the thing though too, is even what you're not saying out loud.
Well, I mean, yes.
And people we don't think about that part.
Right. Yeah.
That your subconscious is always listening. It's picking up on the thoughts,
right?
Not just what we're saying. So this is where we're like, oh, you're getting pissed off about X, Y, and Z, and it's in your head. You're like, well, I didn't say it out loud. I didn't tell nobody.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
It did. Your thoughts spoke for you. You still impressed it into your subconscious mind by thinking it. So it's a lot.
Well, it's funny that you say that too, because part of when we're on this bike ride and I kind of like, I kind of fell behind, but not really, right? Like, so it's funny. Let me give you backside tangent thing. I like having alone time. I like being by myself, not all the time, but like I need alone time. If anybody's into human design, I'm a manifester, and it's like, it was validating to me to learn that manifestors need time by themselves. It made me feel like less of a bad wife and mother, that I want to spend time by myself. But anyway, I also don't want to miss out on my son and my husband having fun. Like I get FOMO when they go out like for a bike ride, and I have to have this like internal struggle. Like, do I want to go or do I want to relax? Do I want to go? Do I want to relax? So when we're on this bike ride the other day, I fell behind a little bit because I'm getting like I'm pedaling slower than everybody else. And then I realized, I was like, oh, this is kind of nice because I'm part of what's going on, but I am by myself right now, kind of with my thoughts, and I'm kind of like thinking about things. Anyway, so that was kind of nice. But anyway, while I'm by myself, I don't really know what the course of thoughts was, but I was in this like very grateful state, like I was saying, and realization that I've come a very long way, and that this is something I've manifested, and that, shit's really turned around, and I'm really glad that I did persist and all of this stuff. And then I caught myself thinking something to the effect of like, well, when I have my next like epiphany or breakthrough, then I'll X, Y, Z in my business and this and this and this. And then I was like, wait a minute. Having the awareness is half the battle, right? I was like, wait a minute. Why does it have to be this big grandiose thing? And then I can elevate in other areas. Why can't it be a gradual thing? Why can't the work that I've already done? Why can't it be that the people who need me come across my old videos? Why do I have to do a new one? Why does it have to be this whole process? Why can't I'm going. And then I'm like, well, why can't the breakthrough just be a simple like new thought? Like, why does it have to be this like, oh my God, why can't it just be like, oh, that's true. And now you've shifted, right? Like, why can't it be easy? And then this epiphany kind of kept spiraling for a little while, caught myself in an upper limit at the end of the bike ride. The whole thing had been so good, and I had all these realizations. And then my son and I had an altercation. I'm not proud of this, but I full on grabbed a pop bottle out of his hand mid-sip, and he spilled pop all over his face. And then I was just like, wow, why did I do that? And because he was intentionally disobeying what I had said. And I don't mean disobeying like a subordinate thing. I don't like the way that I just said that, but I had said, this is the consequence if you do this. And then he did it anyway. And I think part of me was trying to stop him from making the wrong choice. And I was like, wait a minute. First of all, he's a big boy. He made the decision. Now he knows that he knew the consequence when he did it. I shouldn't, intervene now. Second of all, why are you upper limiting? Why can't it be good all the time? Why does there have to be some drama involved? Why can't it just be smooth and enjoyable and good? And then I was like, no, I deserve that, right? And then it continued. And then later that day I was having a shower, and I had another, well, you and I both have, it's like my creative vortex is in the shower, I guess. I don't know.
Seriously, yeah.
And then I had this other epiphany, and then I was like, it was like I was having a conversation with myself, my higher self. I don't really know, but I was thinking about all the things that I've overcome and where I used to be and this, that. And then I heard this voice go, but get over it already. Like, move on. And I was just like, oh shit, there's a part of me that's still, I don't know if it's because I feel like maybe it's more relatable if I continue to rehash old things that I've been through. Like, cause now, like, I've earned my like place because you know what I've gone through. So now it makes more sense, or like it's more impressive because now you have the backstory. I was like, why can't from now forward, why can't it just be about where I'm going and where I am? Why do we have to continue to live in the past? Because I was like, shit. Because we were talking about this, I think last week, maybe the week before. I was like, man, every time, And it's not like I do it every day or anything, but every time I use those old experiences as like the foundation of my story, I keep myself somewhat in that vibration. And I was just like, I don't want to do that. So I decided yesterday I did a manifesting love masterclass, which was so good, which ultimately was about mastering manifestation by mastering your self-concept and loving yourself and all that, right? But when I originally was promoting it, I said, like, I'm going to go through our whole, me and my husband's like whole story and da-da-da-da. And then I got on and I was like, you know what? No, I know I said that I was going to do that, but I've decided I'm not going to do that because I don't want to live in the past anymore. We're talking about moving forward only. So instead, I'm going to inspire you with what's possible instead of rehashing. Just know that it was rough and we've almost split several times. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
And it just felt so much better to lead from that place. And it's just so funny how all of yours and mine realizations and epiphanies like always seem to parallel, and it's just awesome.
Yeah, no, yeah. And I realize that with almost all of the women that I communicate with and that I reach out to, like, it's like we're living parallel lives, you know, and I always think about how we're all one collective consciousness, not realizing you think that you're the only one who's going through these things. And then you reach out and you're like, oh shit, again, like I should have known, you know, we're going through the same fucking thing, the same time. It just so happens to be that way. Like, I think that we have a belief though too, because even with ourselves, that we didn't want to have a coach or a teacher or mentor guiding us who hadn't walked in our shoes.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's part of, again, a belief system that you have, right? And then you being a little bit triggered, just like with everybody else, if you have a little bit of a trigger still, that means that there's something in there that's still not completely healed.
Right.
You know, like for me, I had somebody not that long ago just hating on me, which I think it's funny because I can talk about my story and I'm not triggered anymore.
Right.
You know, even a year ago, I still got like, ugh, I don't want to go there. Ugh, I don't want to think about that. Ugh, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm like, no, fuck it. This is what it is. This is what happened. This is what got me here. Right. So I had somebody bring up something. She came at me thinking that she was going to hurt my feelings of what she said. Mm-hmm. And I just laughed because I was like, bro, if you like, I'll tell the world about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you cannot hurt me with my past. Right. It doesn't trigger me anymore. I've done so much fucking healing. And I know at this point that even with my own stuff, I've accepted it. With other people, I'm accepting it. There's still a couple of things that are more recent that I'm still working through, but it's just that knowing, right? With whoever was in your reality, whatever they did to you, again, I can't stress this enough times. Either we have soul contracts with certain people. Right. Our sisters, our brothers, our mothers, our fathers, grandparents. What does that mean? That means that before we even incarnated, we signed a contract. You're going to play grandma, you're going to play dad, you're going to play mom. And this is what the fuck that each one of us is going to do when we're there. Yeah. For your growth over here, your growth over there, your growth over there, right? So there's a number of different factors that come into how people show up in our reality. It starts like that. Right? They're playing out these parts for you to come into your awakening, for you to have your awareness, right? Mm-hmm. The ones that never wake up, I always think about that saying, you know, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Right. It's a real fucking thing.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not even going to lie. I've sat there beating my head over things many times. Why is this person showing up this way? Why did they do this to me? A million times. Mm-hmm. But now that we are awake and we have this awareness, we have to fucking let it go. Yeah. We have to transform that from pain to power. And that's what this is about. Mm-hmm. Becoming an alchemist. That's what the fuck we are. We are alchemists. Yeah. We were born to turn our pain into power. Every single one of us. Mm-hmm. So it's like, once we have this awareness, forgive them. They didn't fucking know. People don't know what they don't know. Then you have a choice moving forward, whether you want to keep them in your reality or not, obviously. Right. Okay. Then you could take it a step further. Then you start turning into self. Why are they showing up like this in my reality? Now that we have this awareness
Yeah.
and we start learning our power, then we
Mhm.
start switching their identity. If you want to keep them in your life, switch the identity, which
Mhm.
means going inside, looking at your belief system that's causing them to show up in this particular manner.
Mhm.
Everything is self. Everything is an opportunity to heal.
Yes.
Everything. There's
Everything.
nothing
Everything.
outside of us that has control
No.
over our fucking reality. Period.
No. Everything. Everything. And I said almost that exact thing yesterday in this thing. It's just like, no, like everything that happens is an opportunity for you to clarify what you do and don't want, who you do and don't want to be, you know, how well you know yourself, like being open and aware to it, right? And catching yourself, like, and my God, awareness is like more than half the battle, because if you're not aware of it, like she said, you don't know what you don't know. So tuning into that awareness first is so vital, because then you can catch yourself saying things you don't want to say and cancel, clear, delete it. You can catch yourself upper limiting yourself and go, wow, like that was not a good look. I am so sorry that I did that. That was like
Slap
just
yourself.
dumb. I don't even know. Like it was like, honestly, it was embarrassing. I was just like, what the fuck is even happening? And the worst part, Teresa, the
Hey,
worst
but
part,
when it happens, right? Hey, that's my old belief system falling
yeah.
away.
No, and it was an awesome opportunity for me to like, I kind of like watched myself doing it as I was doing it. And the dumbest part, this is like the dumbest part. Like the dumbest part. So earlier in the evening, Dominic, my son, had said that he wanted to spend the night with us when we got back. Normally in the evening, he spends some time, an hour to several hours, with his grandparents, my in-laws. He loves spending time with his grandpa, especially. They have transformed one of the rooms upstairs to this, they call it the rock room. They play music loud and play Lego, and like they just have a great time. They're just like peas in a pod, and it's awesome. So anyway, he had said, tonight, though, whatever day it was, I'm going to stay with you guys and spend time with my family tonight, because we had a really nice bike ride and all this stuff. And so it was like on fucking autopilot when because he was trying to drink pop, and I didn't want him to have any more pop because we had to go home and make dinner. It was already like 5 whatever o'clock, right? And I said to him, give it back or you can't go and see grandma and grandpa. And then he runs away, and then he comes back, and then I grab it out of his hand, and I was pissed off because he wasn't listening. And then I was like, well, that was stupid. The threat didn't even make sense because he doesn't even want to see his grandparents. And then so this whole thing, so then like in this like moment, I realized all of these things, including that I had upper limited myself, that was old me, egoic, whatever, trying to take over and not let it be easy and not let it be good. Because some part of me didn't think that was I was deserving of that. So it gave me an opportunity to look at it and go, wow, like you've come such a long way. Because that I would do things like that previously, probably like all the time. I don't know, because of course I wasn't really aware of it because I don't have the awareness that I have now. But I imagine I did it like that was a default response, right? And I was just like, it was interesting to watch it, recognize what it was, take responsibility for it, apologize for it, admit that it was really stupid and dumb and I shouldn't have done that, tell my son that it wasn't okay. But the consequence, he still had something taken away because he wasn't listening to me. So that's that's a different thing. But it gave me an opportunity to go, okay, no, but that's old me, man. No, lessons with grace and ease. I don't need to do that.
You could have sat there, you could have gone into shame and guilt and all of this stuff, but
Oh yeah.
all it does is it's like an anchor that keeps you trapped there. You can't do it. You have the fucking awareness. Hey, if you took it too far, sometimes we have to apologize to our kids. You know what? Guess what? I shouldn't have did that. I'm sorry. But you got to listen. You got to do your part here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I haven't done it myself. I have. But it's that awareness and not staying there. Whereas prior to, oh my God, you could take this motherfucker and run with it. I'm the worst mom in the world. I keep doing this to my kid, and I.
Well, or full out denial. You know what I mean?
Denial.
Full out.
That's right.
No, he wasn't listening. And that's a part that I would play too. Yeah,
Shift
blame. Shift it. Get defensive. That seriously. So. Anyway, it was like I am ultimately glad it happened because it gave me an awesome opportunity to see all of these things and have all these realizations, and just like it was like for me, I kind of look at it like it was one final like wipe down of the old, the whiteboard used to have the old me on it. And that was like the final, little bit that needed to go. But yeah, it was like I said, I'm not proud of it. But when you have the awareness, you can see all of these things, right? You understand, you can see when you are affirming things you don't want. And when you are playing the victim, because it's almost like it's one of our natural states when we come into this world to play victim. It's like everybody around us is playing victim. And that's how people
babies fake cry.
Yeah, I literally, the first time I saw Dominic do it, I was like, oh my God, you get an Emmy for this acting job. This is amazing. Yep. But, and society, like think about how girls gossip and adults, when we were kids, even the adults would get together and they'd commiserate over bills and the weather and the economy and this and that. It's like, we are trained to gather around negativity, around victimhood. And it's like, that's not productive, which is why a lot of the time, which we can talk about this in another episode, but what you will probably experience at some point in your process, because it's been for everybody that I know this has happened to, at least on a small scale, is you start to vibrate away from your friends and sometimes family members, because you realize that they're not, and it's not that you're better than them, they're just on a different journey than you, right? And it gets difficult to be around the same people because when you guys you and your best friend, for example, when you became friends, you were on the same wavelength, which is why you became friends. Like attracts like. But as your soul contracts expire and you move on and you elevate and they become who they're supposed to become from that point after your part in their life, and you become who you're supposed to become after their part in your life, sometimes you end up vibrating apart, and that can be really difficult for people, right? And it's possible. And I remember actually our old mentor, I came to a coaching call and I said something about my relationship with my husband, and she was like, well, if it's a relationship you want to keep. And I was like, well, yeah, that's why I'm asking you.
I remember that. I remember that clearly. And she straight said, I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this. A good percentage of you are not going to be married at the end of this program.
Yeah.
And I
remember her saying,
wow, that was fucking rude. Like in my head, I was like, okay. And then it got me starting to get scared. Like, oh, well, I'm not happy in my relationship anyways, but do I really want to lose it? So if I do this work, this is going to happen. Put me into fucking fear mode because I wasn't understanding yet.
And then you block yourself from doing the work.
Complete sense.
Yeah.
You're no longer a vibrational match. And it's always like how I explain it, how we're radio transmitters, 92.3, 105.9. If they're meant to continue on the journey with you, they're going to get triggered into their own awakening.
Right.
They're going to start doing the work. If they're not meant to, they're going to vibrate out. You're not going to be a match anymore because it's two different frequencies, and this whole universe is frequency and vibration. So it doesn't matter how hard you fucking try. Although now we know some more secrets where we can shift them and make them come into awakening.
If you're really determined, to have them around, you can.
Now we know this, so it's a little bit different. But in that in-between time, you can't fucking, because you can't hear what's on 105.9 when you listen to 92.3 and vice versa. It's just not. Right. So until that shift happens where you're on the same frequency, then you can't fucking hear each other.
Right.
And sometimes, we don't know what this person signed up for. We don't know. Right. This is where we have to trust, have faith, right? Surrender, detach. Detach from the outcome, stay persistent in our affirmations, in our desire, in our end goal, no matter what's showing up, no matter what. With these affirmations, you don't have to believe them when you first start doing them. That's the main thing, you guys, keep in mind. Because some of them, like I said, even last week, I was saying it and I wasn't believing it. Mm-hmm. But after repetition, over and over and over, it clicks. Something clicks here. And it's take people who don't feel that pretty. Keep saying, I am pretty. I am pretty. I am pretty. Even myself, when I say that, makes me a little bit giggly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When you keep repeating something over and over and over and over, it eventually becomes true. Yeah. You must persist. That's what this whole thing was about. Persisting, 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 persisting. How long do you have to persist? You keep fucking persisting until whatever it is that you're manifesting shows up. Then after that, you keep persisting to solidify it, because there's still going to be some kickback of the old belief system, the old habits of, say you're manifesting a person. Some of the old stuff is still going to show up. You must keep persisting until you see it's exactly what you are manifesting. And you don't stop until then.
Right. But the best part is the angle that Teresa and I have been adopting now for a while is when you focus on manifesting from the self-concept in over and above just, I want this much money, or I want this person, or I want whatever. When you're focusing on first and foremost, like if the main core of what you're manifesting is who you are, then just all the good things.
You start on the path of least resistance.
Yes, exactly. That's what it is. And it becomes, everything is always working out for you. You literally become a magnet for miracles. Like, and not only do you become a magnet for miracles, but you start to realize that every good thing that happens to you is a miracle, right? Like good parking spaces and unexpected savings. Like I needed to buzz into the grocery store the other day. I needed lemons and dill, and I wanted a chocolate bar. Like my life depended on it. I wanted a chocolate bar so bad. So I went and I get my dill, and I get my 2 lemons that were on sale. And then I get the chocolate bars are on sale. So I get one for me, one for Dominic, one for Derek, put it all on the thing. Well, hey, the cashier's like, hey, do you want to use your points towards the dill? Get it for free. I said, sure. Lemons are on sale. Oh, hey, do you want to cash in more points for one of your chocolate bars? Sure. So I ended up saving more than I spent because everything is always working out for me. You know what I mean? And it's exciting. And this is just a little thing. Like so I saved $4.50 and I spent $4.37. It's not that $4 is not going to make or break, but it still is exciting. And the more that you recognize every little miracle and celebrate it, like you just won the lottery, the better your life gets, the faster. And if you're practicing self-concept where you are affirming, or better yet, if you're using subliminals that are affirming that you are a magnet for miracles and manifesting is easy for you and things come easily and you're beautiful and this and that, those become your reality very quickly. And then your whole life, like Teresa and I are constantly, dude, this happened and this happened and this happened. And it's like phenomenal. Let me just tell you.
Yeah. Really quick before we end this too, I had taken my daughter shopping, and I was actually telling her how, this works. And when we're happy and we're in a good mood, it's like all these good things just happen. You get discounts and people offer you stuff for free. Your thoughts manifest like instantly.
Yeah.
And so she wanted this one pair of Nikes. We went to the store. They're half off. I was like, what? That's not normal. Go ahead and get them, girl. Let's go.
Let's do it.
It was freezing cold. I'm not a Starbucks person. I just don't like, that's not my, I don't like supporting them. Okay. I'm like, ugh. She wanted hot chocolate because it was cold. And I was like, you know what? I'll buy you one. In my head, I was like, fuck, I really want a hot chocolate, but I am not going to spend my money here. I'm not. So the girl puts 2 cups on the counter and says my name. And then she's like, ma'am, we actually made 2 on accident. Did you want to go ahead and keep this one? I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me right now. I was like, thank you very much, ma'am. I grabbed it, started walking off. I said, what was I telling you in the car? What was I telling you in the car? I said, do you see how this happens? It's just magic. You think something, somebody fucking pops up with it. They give it to you. You go to the stores, you get discounts. Like everything just works out. I mean, we say this every episode, right? You're in this high vibration. You're feeling good. You're following your joy. Everything fucking works out by itself. Everything. It's easy. It's effortless.
It is. And I want to say one more thing before we hop off, because it plays in so nicely to everything that we've been talking about. Everything's always working out for me, and persisting and believing that everything is always working out for you. Anytime you are, and I said this yesterday in the masterclass, so if you haven't watched that, you want to go back and watch that too. But anytime you're experiencing anything in your 3D reality, which means anything that's going on around you, like in this moment, today, yesterday, whatever, that you don't love, don't give it any attention, because you give it attention, it makes that situation persist. Instead, like Teresa was saying earlier, you just stop and say, no, this is my reality and this is not what I choose. Right. And
not accept anything that you do not want in your reality, even if it shows up. It doesn't matter. Didn't happen. Nope. Yeah. I'm not accepting it. this is my
accepting this.
reality,
Yeah.
X, Y, and
Yeah.
Z. That's all you have to do, but it's an all day thing.
Yeah.
We do not accept anything that we don't fucking want. It's that easy. Don't accept it.
Yeah.
You're not accepting it. You're persisting in what you want over and over and over and over, no matter what shows up, no matter what you fucking see. I don't give a shit if it's right in front of you. It's not there. It's not there unless you want it. It's not happening unless you want to keep it.
No.
Literally.
Yep. You just, nope, this is my reality. I didn't order this. I don't accept this. In my reality, this is how it happens.
Baby, it's my motherfucking
You can have it your way. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Okay. So that's been awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I say, whether you're here on the replay or the live, I would love it if you would say hi so that we can thank you for being here personally. I know everybody got at least one aha out of that today for sure. Absolutely. We will see you back here next week for another episode, number 6. I can't believe look at us on a roll. I love it so much. You guys have an awesome rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out with me, Teresa. I love you so much. And I will see all of you guys here next week. See you.
Bye.